Let's see. I feel like this angle is a little wider than usual. Adjust that. That seems a little smaller than usual. 1 second. Well, I guess we're going to run with that. I feel like there's a little bit of, move this up a little bit. Not sure why that is. Usually it seems to frame just perfectly, but all right. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and start with some breathing as we usually do. Find a seat on your mat. Sit nice and tall. Close your eyes. Just begin to follow the breath. Focus on the sensations that are produced by breathing. And try and let go of any story or analysis that might pop into your mind as you do that. The truth is that the sensations are beyond what we might call understanding or analysis. Really, everything is. It's not to say that analyzing or having a story is necessarily a bad thing. But you might say it is if we don't know that that's what it is. So having the ability to sort of release our story, especially when it's a fearful story, when it is a disempowering story, when it is a story that limits us in some way. So just feeling in this moment, innocently, openly, each breath as it comes and as it goes. The mind may resist this exercise. That is okay. So if you find yourself getting irritated by this idea, you find yourself, this is stupid. That's okay. Just notice those thoughts, notice those feelings, and let them go. Letting something go is not the same as pushing it away. It is just really opening up. Noticing that there are other things occurring, not fixating on an idea or a feeling, an emotion. Now we begin to deepen our breathing, and as usual we do this with the 3-part breath, Dirga. Inhale, belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Breathe as deeply and fully as you can without bringing any sense of strain. So keep it relaxed, keep it deep, keep it full and even. Now bring in the ocean sound, the ujjayi sound at the back of the throat. This technique is just like fogging a mirror, but you keep the mouth shut, making an equal amount of sound on both the inhale and the exhale. Now, if you notice these breathing techniques bringing in tension, the first key is noticing that. See if you can then relax that tension. And if you cannot, then you need to speak with me. either before or after this class or the next class, because we want to be able to do these techniques and really everything with a sense of effortlessness. It doesn't mean that we stay there always. We want during this class to take ourselves out of that effortlessness and then see if we can pull that sense of effortlessness into the harder things that we do in the class. Okay, so whether it's breathing, whether it's a posture, whether it is doing something very active, we want to bring this sense of effortlessness to it. And occasionally during the class, we want to lose that sense of effortlessness and then see if we can bring it into a new posture or a new technique where it did not exist before. So our sense of effortlessness is ever expanding in the classes. Okay. Make sure you're breathing in and out through the nose and that the inhales and the exhales are the same length. Then come forward into a tabletop position and begin the warm-up cat-cow. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head up. Exhale, tailbone tucks, back rounds, crown of the head down. Good, coming back to neutral, we'll tuck those toes, lift the hips, and we come up and back into a downward facing dog. And we continue breathing, but we move a little more freely as we warm up our feet, our toes, ankles, and the knees, the legs, loosening everything up. And then coming into the full expression of the downward dog with the fingers spread wide, hands shoulder width, chest actively drawing back toward the feet, and the feet hip distance, the heels actively reaching toward the ground. The breath should not have really changed much at all, but it may have. But again, we want to notice if it has. And as much as possible, we want to bring that sense of relaxed, deep breathing that we had while seated into this new position, this new posture, the down dog. With our next exhale, we'll walk our feet toward our hands, coming into the ragdoll for a moment or two, nodding the head, shaking the head, swaying the hips. And then with our inhale, we'll roll on up to standing. We'll begin with a standing back bend. So bringing the feet to touch, we inhale the arms up, touch palms, and lift the heart, creating as much space from our pubic bone through our chin as possible. Noticing how this position has perhaps changed our breathing or caused us to clench our jaw or raise our shoulders. And if we can, softening the face, the shoulders, still breathing in the same way. Inhaling through center, we exhale to forward fold where we bend the knees. Bring the belly against the thighs and begin to straighten our legs without lifting our belly. Feeling that stretch in the back of the thighs. The next inhale, we come to our fingertips, or we can take the shins as we lengthen the spine. And as we exhale, we plant the hands and step to the top of a push-up for plank pose. As usual, let's check the shoulders and make sure we're not collapsing in the shoulders. Check the hips, make sure we're not hips too high or hips too low. And then we'll drop the knees for the first push-up to focus on the action in the arms and shoulders. Take a deep breath, exhale, lower down halfway, elbows hug the ribs. Take a breath here, and then exhale the rest of the way down. Press the tops of your feet and hands into the ground as you inhale and lift up into cobra, lifting the head, neck, chest, and maybe even part of the abdomen. Exhale, lower back down, press back to tabletop, and then to downward facing dog. Let's take a breath there. Now we inhale to the toes, look between the hands, and as we exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of our mat. Inhaling up to standing back bend, we grab the right wrist with the left hand and exhale over into Ardha Chandrasana half moon, stretching our right waist and ribs. Again, this is all about length, openness, breathing. Inhaling to center, we exhale to the other side. Inhaling back to center, we exhale to forward fold. Inhale to half lift, and exhale again, step to the top of a push-up for plank. As always, knees up or down is your choice, but you want to maintain the integrity of what you're doing with your arms and shoulders. We'll take a deep breath, exhale halfway down, and then we inhale to upward facing dog. The knees are off the ground, or you can repeat cobra. And as we exhale, we take it right back to down dog, or using tabletop to make the transition easier. Taught a class earlier today with a woman who took my class for the first time, and she was a good example. For some reason, people resist dropping their knees and using tabletop for the transition, even when that's what they should do. They prefer somehow to skip vinyasas or to do this thing where they come down like a quarter of the way. And trust me, I've seen students do that for years. They do not improve. They do not get stronger. Okay, so it doesn't work. You might think, well, I don't want to embarrass myself by dropping my knees, so I'll just cheat it, and if I keep doing this, I'll get stronger. You won't. I've watched and I've seen. So it's better just to drop the knees, bend those arms deeply, get them working, get those muscles working, and then they will respond by getting stronger. Okay, inhale to the toes, look to the hands, and as you exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of the mat. Inhale to standing back bend, and exhale to half moon, stretching your left side. Inhale to center, and exhale to half moon, stretching the right side. Inhale to center, and exhale to chair pose. Chair is, for me, one of the best tests of how much relaxation we can create in a stressful situation. The pose is stressful. It's meant to be stressful. In fact, a lot of this practice is meant to be stressful. And it's stressful in a healthy way. Stress is what keeps the body healthy and toned and strong and young. Without it, we age more quickly, we get injured more easily, we get sick more easily. So we do not want to live without stress. But as I mentioned, when we consciously stress ourselves, then we can learn to relax in the face of stress. We can learn to breathe through anything. We might be shaking, we might be sweating, and it is okay. As long as we keep that face and jaw relaxed, shoulders relaxed, and breath flowing. In fact, maybe we can even add a little more intensity here. Notice what you might be trying to run away from at this moment. Might be intense sensation. Instead of running away, see if you can just be aware of it, and you just let it be there. And you're there, it is there, and it is okay. Good. Exhale into forward fold, release. Inhale to your half lift. And if possible, exhale right to the bottom of the push-up. Inhale to up dog, or you can do cobra. And then on your way out, if possible, exhale and do a push-up. The more push-ups you do, the more strength, upper body strengthening you will bring, which is very important. You also tend to sweat more, which is important for detoxification. And you'll burn more calories as well. So if you're interested in doing this as part of your weight loss, that's important to keep in mind, keep an eye on. Okay, so our breathing should not have changed at all. Still breathing the same way. And from here on out, you'll probably see me skip vinyasas. And again, that's from learning that I cannot do all the vinyasas and teach class at the same time, which should not be surprising. Okay, we bring our feet to touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Bend the knee, and we make some circles, just opening up our hip. We do a few in one direction. We do a few in the other direction. Then take a deep breath and exhale, lunge. And inhale to low lunge on Vinyasa. Okay, from there, if you'd like to add a little bit of challenge, lift the back knee up. If you want even more, add a twist. All of this is to stretch the front of the left hip. So if your front of your left hip is not stretching, then you should stay here instead. If you lift the knee, it should intensify the stretch. If you add the twist, it should intensify the stretch. Good. Let's inhale back up. And we exhale bottom of our push-up, making our way back to down dog. Okay, feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. We'll bend the knee and open up the hip, making big, wide circles in the air. A few in one direction and a few in the other. Take a deep breath and exhale, lunge. Inhale to low lunge. Again, for more intensity, lift the back knee and exhale, twist. Don't forget to breathe. Good. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to downward dog. From down dog, we exhale to a tabletop position, and we come to the first of 4 tiger variations. So let's look at the most basic variation. Tiger is similar to cat-cow, right? This cat-cow, this is the cow, this is the cat, or sometimes it's called cat tuck and cat lift, all right? Same position, whatever name you give to it. So from here, what we'd like to do is come into that cow position or the cat lift position, and we lift our leg. Now I reach my toes toward the crown of my head and the crown of the head toward my toes. Okay, so as much as possible I'm lifting up. Let's exhale that side and the other side, same thing. I drop my belly, I lift my head and my tailbone, and I lift my leg. I lift my head, I reach the toes toward my head. It doesn't matter whether they touch or not. You can see I'm miles away from touching. Not important. The fact that some people can touch is almost unfortunate, because then people focus, they hyper-focus on that, because that seems like, yay, I achieved some goal. I'll assure you that from the yogic perspective, no goal has been reached. You are not any better or any worse than anybody else touching your toes to the crown of your head, okay? Or vice versa, not doing so. What does matter is the effort that you put into that. and actually your own attitude. So if you touched your toes to your head and you said, oh, I'm so amazing, my God, wow, I'm incredible, I should do teacher training, I'm so gifted, you have a real problem from a yogic perspective. If you couldn't and you said, oh my God, I'm so horrible, I suck at this, I should stop right now, again, that's a problem. Equanimity is what we're looking for. So you just do it calmly, easily. You let go of your successes, you let go of your failures with the next breath, moving moment to moment. From there, you can vinyasa back to down dog, or you can go straight back. These are almost like extra vinyasas. So again, you can decide how many you want to do. I recommend you do as many as you can. Maybe at the beginning you do more, and then if you need to, you skip some toward the end. That's perfectly fine if you get tired. Okay, from here we inhale to our toes, we exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of our mat. Inhaling to the standing back bend, we exhale to a squat. So you might have to step a little wider. And coming down, I'll turn this way so you can see me. This is Malasana. I bring my hands down between my elbows. My elbows press into the inside of my knees, creating a little bit of a hip opening. Your heels may be down or up. So I had a girl ask me today, is it more important that my heels are down or can they be up like that? And my answer is either is fine. Heels down tends to give you more stability, but she was saying with her heels up, she felt a different stretch. So that's perfectly fine. What do you feel? Let that guide you. Now, as we do this, we want to be pulling or lengthening our spine out of our pelvis. So I'm using this position to sort of lengthen and to pull out. All right, so my back is really long here as I do this. Now, squatting, which is what we're doing, is extremely good for your health, especially pelvic floor health. It's one of the most natural resting positions for human beings. And I recommend that if you do not do this on a daily basis, you start. Find a place or a time when you can just squat that makes sense for you. Maybe you take walks daily. And when you get tired, instead of just standing there, maybe you squat down. People might look at you because in our culture, we're not used to seeing people squat. But in other cultures, it's one of the most common things that you'll see. Again, very natural movement for a human being, very important for our health. All right, so Malasana, that is this position. With our inhale, we'll come back up to standing back bend, and we exhale to the forward fold. Inhale, half lift. You can do crow pose here, and exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward dog with a vinyasa. From down dog, we bring the feet to touch. We inhale the right leg up and back for three-legged dog. Foot flexed, toes, knee, and hip point straight down. Right hip level with the left, right leg lifted in line with the torso. This will come back when we do warrior three. So remember this leg position. Exhale, place the foot between the hands, drop the back knee, and if possible, come down to your forearms. May not be possible for everybody. This is called a lizard. It's a very low lunge, if you will. Then inhale the right arm up into twisting dragon. We call this in yin yoga. I'm not sure of a name for this in vinyasa. Then, if possible, bend the back knee, reach back, grab that foot. Pull the heel in towards your buttocks, stretching the quads and hip flexors of your left leg. Take a few breaths. Try and keep the right shoulder stacked above the left as you do that. Breathe. Good. Let's inhale the arm back up, and we exhale to the bottom of our push-up. Making your way back to downward dog. With the feet touching, we inhale the left leg up and back like so. Three-legged dog pose. Again, try and imprint this in your brain if it isn't already. And then as you exhale, go ahead and lunge, dropping the back knee. Come down inside of that left leg to the forearms. Then inhale, take a twist, twisting dragon. Again, this might be it for some of you, but if you can, reach back, grab that foot, pull the heel in towards the buttocks. as you deepen the opening at the front of the right hip and thigh. Good. Release that leg on the inhale, returning to twisting dragon, and exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to the downward facing dog. From downward dog, we'll come down again into our tiger position. And now we'll look at a dynamic tiger. We inhale and reach the right leg up, just like before. The toes are reaching toward the crown of the head. We're in a sort of back bend. And then as we exhale, we pull the leg in and really bring the thigh toward our belly and chest. We bring our nose toward the knee. We try and touch if we can. So really rounding the back. And then inhale, lifting up. And then repeating that. And with each breath, repeating the movement. Good. Inhale up and exhale, release that leg, moving to the other side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift the leg, and exhale, release the leg. Again, you can do a vinyasa there if it makes sense for you. You can skip it, but make your way back to downward facing dog. From down dog, we inhale to our toes, and as we exhale, make our way to the front edge of the mat. Inhale to standing back bend, and again, exhale to a squat. So coming down into, again, malasana. Now, this might be where you stay, and again, repeating this will benefit you. It will only benefit your body. Okay, now is not a time for a water break or to go pet your dog or do something else if you can't do the next step. It is time to repeat malasana. Okay, so that you might be repeating this for the second time. However, I'm going to encourage you to try the next step, which is bringing your forearms to the ground, reaching across, grabbing the opposite elbow, just to get the elbows where they should be. And then we place the hands on the ground, okay, forearms parallel. Then I tuck my toes, lift my hips into what's called a dolphin. From dolphin, I walk my feet in as much as possible, and I either try and place my knees into the back of my arms or armpits, or I hug the upper part of my arm, okay? Now, from there, I look forward and shift forward, but I don't touch my head to the ground. I'm just an inch off the ground. My shoulders are engaged, right? Or else I would be touching the ground. So my shoulders are engaged. And then I try and lift one set of toes, then the other set of toes, and then both sets of toes, okay? It might not look like much is happening, but I am balanced on my forearms. The entire weight of my body is borne on my arms and shoulders. And there is no risk of falling, right? If I'm here, I can hit my head. Nothing is going to happen, all right? I can really try pounding my head in the ground. Nothing is going to happen. I'm not going to break anything. I'm not going to hurt anything. So take your time, do your best. And again, if you really can't do that, you've tried and you were not able to do it. And again, I recommend you try, because your mind can tell you all kinds of things. You can't, you're too old, you're too sick, you're not strong enough, you're not flexible enough. Whatever it is, you weigh too much, we want to try it. We want our experience to tell us, not our mind, because our mind thinks it knows, but it knows much less than it does. If I couldn't do it, then I can stay here in Malasana. Okay, with our next inhale, we come up to standing back bend, and we exhale to forward fold. Inhaling to half lift or maybe crow pose. Exhale, bottom of our push-up, making your way back to downward dog. Okay, from down dog, we bring those feet to touch. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. From here, we can bend the knee and begin to open up the hip. So we use the weight of the leg to pull us over, stretching our waist a little bit, kind of like half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. With the exhale, we bring the foot between the hands. We keep the back heel raised, and then inhale up into Ashtha Chandrasana, crescent lunge. So the front foot and knee point straight ahead. The knee lunges directly over the heel. This thigh approaches parallel. Left hip forward, right hip back. Left leg is straight. That heel is reaching toward the ground, but it will never touch the ground if you're doing this properly. So I'm not raising the heel up. Again, someone in class was trying to do that today. No, the heel is pressing back and down. The arms are straight up and back. We inhale and straighten the knee, and then as we exhale, we bend the knee, bend our arms, and bend our back, deepening the stretch at the front of the left hip. Inhale back up, and we exhale again, deep stretch, front of the left hip. A few more times. Inhale up, and exhale, stretch it out. 2 more. And 1 more time. Good. Take a deep breath in and exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to down dog. From downward dog, we'll bring the feet to touch. We inhale the left leg up and back, bend the knee, and begin to stretch and open the waist and the hip. Keep that left hand planted. Let the weight of the leg pull you over. Good. Take a deep breath. Exhale and lunge. And then inhale to crescent lunge. Good. Sink into that posture. Pull that left hip back and right hip forward. And then inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, bend the knee, bend the arms, bend the back. Stretch the front of the right hip. Good. Inhale up. And exhale, stretch. Good. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to downward facing dog. From down dog, we exhale to tabletop position. Now we take a look at tiger, but we add in a little more challenge to our sense of balance. So lifting the leg and the head just like before, but now adding the arm in. As I exhale, I pull the elbow and the knee past one another. I try and touch my arm to my belly and my thigh to my belly. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, hugging in, rounding the back, tucking the chin. Good. Inhale, lifting, and exhale, releasing. Side 2. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, hug it in. Good. Exhale, release. Vinyasa, or go straight back to down dog.
All right, from down dog, we inhale to our toes and exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhale up to standing back bend, and then we exhale to our squat. Okay, so I might be doing malasana for the third time. If what I call baby bakasana, baby crow pose that we did earlier on the forearms, if that was challenging, then I recommend trying that again, even if you were not able to do it. In fact, especially if you were not able to do it last time. Take it slowly, breathe deeply, take your time, really be aware. Again, that person who was in my class earlier, she was not listening and she kept trying to lift both toes at the same time. And of course, she wasn't able to do it. If she just took her time and would lift one set of toes and then the other and just get used to how that feels, I think she would have been able to lift both toes eventually. But either because she wasn't listening or she was in a rush, I'm not sure exactly what, she was trying to just, jump right into things. And it didn't work. It's not surprising that it didn't work. Now we come to crow pose. When we look at crow pose, one of the most important things is the chaturanga arms. And this was another thing she was not doing, even though I broke it down just like this. Okay, my elbow, I have a right angle. That does not change, okay, until I'm in the posture. Then it can change once I'm in it. Elbow bent, right, 90 degrees. Wrist also, same. Wrist, elbows, and shoulders stack. What that means is my elbows do not come out to the sides. My hands do not come out to the sides or in front or behind. Okay, I have these arms and I do not change them. This part of the arm creates a shelf for me to rest my leg on. All right. If I can't do that, then I will hug the sides of my arms again, but most people can rest the shin on the back of the arm. Now, it's easy enough to do it in this position, but I want to do it in this position. Okay, so you'll notice I'm kind of scrunched over. What the woman today was doing and what most people do is they do this. Their arms are straight. It's like they're trying to push the ground away from them. So I can't be afraid of the ground. Arms are bent, hips are up, gaze is up. Shins rest on the back of the arms. And then again, taking my time, one set of toes. What does that feel like? Can I hold that position? Can I breathe here? Okay, other set of toes. How does that feel? Okay, if that feels okay, if both feel okay, I can slowly lift both set of toes. You never have to hop or jump into that pose. It will never do you any good. Okay? We want to do everything in this class in a very sattvic way. Smooth, even, harmonious, not jumping and creating lots of, disruptive movements, loud sounds, things like that. I've seen many Vinyasa practitioners who jump up into handstands and then they fall down to the ground and it makes a loud smack. And they're not understanding what we're trying to create with this practice. We're not trying to create a loud, dramatic smack on the ground as we come out of our headstand. Just the opposite. We want to float. Everything is like floating, like you're moving through water, moving through molasses or honey as you practice, okay? Okay, let's inhale, back up, standing back bend, deep breath, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and if you can, insert your crow pose here. And then you may not be ready yet, but exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale to your upward dog, and exhale back to down dog. Okay, feet touch, inhale, right leg up and back. We bend the knee, we open the hip, and if you are comfortable doing so, we flip the dog, move that arm, articulating the glenohumeral joint. Take a deep breath and exhale, foot between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. From crescent, exhale the arms out like wings. Take a deep breath and exhale to warrior three. Now remember I said that our position of the leg of three-legged dog is going to come back, and here it is. The foot flexes, the toes, knee, and hip point toward the ground. I lift that leg up as close to parallel with the ground as I can. Torso parallel, arms parallel. For more work, to make it harder, you bend your right knee. That will fatigue those muscles much more quickly. Let's exhale, bottom of the push-up, making our way back to down dog. I'll turn for this next one. Okay, you don't need to turn. Okay, feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. And again, maybe, just maybe, we flip that dog over, moving that shoulder around, good for the joint, just like we did with the hip earlier. Simple, easy, and yet effective at keeping the joints healthy. Take a deep breath and exhale. Place the foot between the hands and inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, the arms out like wings. Take a deep breath, and then with the next exhale, come forward into your warrior three. Again, for more work, we bend this knee, trying to fatigue that leg more quickly. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. We make our way back to downward facing dog. Okay. From downward dog, we exhale down to tabletop. And from here, we'll take a look at one-handed tiger. Bending the knee, we come into tiger pose. And then we see if we can reach back and grab the foot. If I can, I kick up and back as much as possible, stretching the front of my left shoulder and the front of my right hip. Keep kicking up and back actively. Notice when you sort of check out. Good. Exhale, release. Other side, inhale, left leg. Okay, reach back and kick. You should feel at the front of the shoulder and the hip. It should not be painful. It might be a little uncomfortable, but it should not feel dangerous. Good. Exhale, release, and make your way back to downward dog. From downward dog, we inhale to our toes and we exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling up to standing back bend, we then exhale down into our squat. Okay, this might be my fourth time doing the squat. This might be my third time trying to do baby crow. I might try crow for the second time here. Or if crow is fairly easy, there are a few things that you can try. I'm not going to demo all of them. One, though, is moving from crow pose to headstand. You'd want to very carefully bring your head toward the ground and then come up into what's called a tripod headstand. Okay? The second thing you can try is jumping back, as you saw me do earlier. You come into the crow pose, and then you jump back to the bottom of a vinyasa and make your way back to downward dog. If that's easy, from there you can begin working on jumping forward back into crow pose. That is very, very challenging, and you want to be careful that you don't face plant when you're doing that. So you might want to put out a little bit of extra cushioning just in case you fall from that position. Again, falling is not the end of the world. I do want you to be careful, but if you were to see a baby learn to walk, you would see the baby fall many hundreds or thousands of times. All right, we don't learn, our bodies don't learn by avoiding mistakes. In fact, just the opposites. Our body learns by making mistakes and learning from those mistakes, okay? Okay, so let's inhale to our standing back bend. And we exhale to the forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Again, you can put crow pose in here and you exhale, bottom of your push-up. You could also do headstand there, making your way to down dog. Okay, from the downward dog, go ahead and bring our feet to touch. And we will inhale the right leg up and back. And we exhale, right knee, right arm, and try and lift the left leg up. That's called one-legged crow pose. Then we inhale the leg up and back, and exhale, lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale the arms like wings. Take a deep breath, and with the next exhale, kick off the back leg, bend the knee, pull the heel in towards your buttocks, flex the foot. Head, neck, and chest face forward. Good. This is called bird pose. This foot is your tail. All right. We keep pulling that heel in towards the buttocks, lifting that leg up using our glutes. Again, head, neck, and chest face forward. We're in a back bend. Good. Take a deep breath. Oh, yeah. Before you do, though, again, if you want more work, you bend this knee. All right. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to the downward dog. From down dog, feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee high up on the arm. Lift the back leg up, one-legged crow pose. Just give it the old college try, see what happens. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. And then inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, arms like wings. Take a deep breath. And exhale, kick off the back leg, bird pose. All right, again, for more work, you bend the left knee. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to downward facing dog. All right, we are in the home stretch now. So from here, we are going to exhale to a tabletop. And we'll take a look at same side tiger pose. So just as before, I'm going to bend this knee. And then I see if I can reach back with my right hand and grab hold of that foot from the inside, kicking up and back. Really focusing on my balance here. Trying to open up that whole right side of my body. Exhale, releasing the tiger. And again, doing this on the other side. Knees touch. Or no, sorry, knees don't touch. Let's lift that left leg up. Reach up and back. Try grabbing that foot and kicking up and back while maintaining your balance here. Stretching the front of that left side open, so lengthening it. Good. Exhale, release, making your way back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, we'll inhale to our toes, and we exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of our mat. Let's inhale up to standing back bend, and we exhale our hands out to the sides. Feet touch. Bend the right knee, reach back and grab the foot. Pull the knees in toward one another and inhale the left arm up. Take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, kick the foot back and begin to hinge from the hips with the next exhale, coming into the dancer pose. Try and get your head, neck, and chest to face forward as your right thigh faces the back wall. Again, for more work, you can bend the left knee. Try and maintain your balance. Let's take a nice deep breath, and we'll exhale bottom of our push-up. Oh, sorry, not the bottom of our push-up. Let's inhale back up and exhale, release. Sorry about that. Okay, feet touch. We bend the left knee, grab the foot, pull the knees in toward one another. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, kicking back, hinging from the hips. And again, for more, I can bend this knee. Good.
Inhale, let's come on up, and exhale, release the pose. Inhale, arms up, touch palms, lift the heart, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift or crow pose, handstand, exhale, bottom of the push-up. Coming back to down dog, come to your toes, and exhale to a seat. Inhale, legs and arms out in front of you, and as you exhale, rolling back onto your back. Good. So today's class really opened up the front of the hips and the front of the shoulders and the spine. So all of those things are necessary for doing deep back bends like the wheel or the bridge pose. So let's try those postures with your feet and knees about hip distance and your heels. Notice where my heels are. They're right underneath my knees. So some people try and do this pose like this. This isn't the right position. Really want those heels in very, very close so that when I lift up, my knees will be directly over my heels. From here, I press into my feet and I lift my hips up, bring the hands underneath, interlace fingers, and shrug one shoulder under and then the other. From there, I can lift my hips a little higher. Okay, you can stay here, or to go into wheel pose, you bring your hands alongside your head, press into the hands and feet, and come on up into wheel. I'm going to stay here in bridge. Now, from either bridge or wheel, you can try lifting the legs and pointing the toes while still lifting the hips up. There's a tendency to collapse the hips when you do that. So just noticing the challenges of whichever posture you're doing, noticing your breath, how you feel. And then on our exhale, we will come down, take the feet mat distance, and drop the knees in against one another. That's called constructive rest. From here, you can begin dropping your knees from side to side. Those are called windshield wipers. Let the hips rock from side to side as you do that. This will help to release any tension that may be remaining from doing that back bend. And this should feel good. So if it doesn't, that probably means something is not quite right. Maybe your body is not in quite the right position, or maybe you have an injury, one that you know about, or maybe one you don't know about. We can have both kinds. We sometimes have injuries that we are just unaware of until we start doing yoga. Do as many of those as you like, but when you're finished, let the soles of the feet join together. Let your knees drop out to the sides. This is called reclined cobbler's pose. From the reclined cobbler's pose, we'll take the left leg out onto the mat and bring the right leg in. Hugging it in, move it around a little bit and feel the hip, the leg, and your low back. See if you can find a position where you feel a release. And then take a few breaths into that release of tension. From there, place the foot on your left thigh, extend the arms out in a T position, and then reach up with your left hand and just gently guide the knee down to the left. Look to your right, coming into Dandayamana Dhanurasana.
Just let your breathing be natural now. And let gravity do the work for you. Good. Let's inhale that right leg up, and we exhale, lower the right leg to meet the left leg. Let's bring the left leg in now. Give it a squeeze. Move it around, maybe quite aggressively. Feel into that hip joint. If you find a sweet spot, hold there for a moment or two. Keep those shoulders soft and face, lips, and jaw relaxed. And then place the foot on the opposite thigh, extend the arms out, reach up, and just guide the knee down. It may not touch the ground, and that's okay. Inhale, let's extend that left leg up toward the ceiling, and we exhale and lower the left to meet the right. Bringing both legs in now, we give them a squeeze. Let's make some circles. Do a few in each direction. Then grabbing the soles of the feet for happy baby, Ananda Balasana. Pulling on the feet with the knees bent. Extending the legs one at a time or both together. Pulling the legs apart. Pulling them overhead. Rocking on your back, side to side, forward and back. Okay, when you feel that you have stretched out, come into Shavasana, the corpse pose. Hands and feet splay apart comfortably. Palms are up by your side. Head is centered, chin is tucked in slightly. And as usual, I recommend 6 minutes. 6 minutes to relax in stillness and silence at a minimum. So longer is fine if you feel that you need longer. As usual, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you can, stick around for yin, which is next in 15 minutes. If not, I'll see you next week. And once again, if you want to come hiking and do some outdoor yoga with me, this is something that I'm doing Tuesdays, Thursdays, and during the weekend. And you need to give me your number, your name and number, and I'll put you on my text message list, because that's the best way to organize it, because there's no set schedule. It just depends on the weather and depends on my free time. So if you're interested, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in yin or next week. Please take care. Namaste. Thank you.